outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Country with Celine. I am your host, Celine Shamarki, and today we have Jessica Zimmerman from the Jess Zimmerman Band.
I'm rolling down the road at 90 miles an hour. Come take a ride in my big white truck. It's a wide open road, I ain't pulling over. Come take a ride in my big white truck. Cat 6, 5.9.
Jessica, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Cold, but great.
Gotta love the winter weather over here in Pennsylvania and in Toronto. Cold as crap, but we love it. We love it.
Yes.
Well, Jessica, on a hotter note, you started 2022 in Orlando. So you got to soak
Yeah.
up the nice sunshine and play a couple of shows. How was that to kickstart the year?
It was awesome. First of all, it was warm, and you can't go wrong with warm and sunshine. And then the fact that we were able to play at Blake Shelton's Old Red in Orlando, Florida, was just like, if that's the start of our year of 2020, I'm like, what is in store? It was just great. It's an awesome venue, and then you have people from all over the world going to Florida, visiting Orlando, and just loving to be together in live music. And it's just great to be back. So it was awesome. We're going to be going back in about a couple weeks, so I'm ready.
Of course you're ready. Who isn't ready to go back to Florida, the nice sunshine state where it's literally like 80 degrees right now, and where we are, it's just like you said, so cold. But 2022, what are you looking forward to this year? New music?
Hoping for some new music. I mean, I feel like any of those things take like cultivation time, but that is the goal. Some new music, some really big shows, places that are kind of like feathers in your cap, for so to speak, that I'm hoping we can be like, we played that in 2022 and it was just like a bookmark for us. So that, and travel again. I mean, 2020 and was a little funky for everyone, and then 2021 we got a little back into travel. We released a full length album, but I'm hoping that 2022 just takes us across the map and brings some new music to our fans.
Hopefully, I've been seeing this like meme everywhere, but hopefully 2022 isn't exactly like 2020 the second time around. Like I've been seeing it, and I'm like, I hope not. Like, please.
Yeah.
I don't think we can all deal with the beginning of the pandemic all over again. I mean, it feels like we're just on the verge of getting out of this, especially like you were saying, travel has gotten somewhat back to normal within 2021. So hopefully 2022, it's more back to normal, and then shows won't get canceled as much, games won't get postponed anymore, and life will be back to the normal, I should say. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, that's the goal. Fingers crossed. We're gonna hold our breath, I guess.
I know. But speaking of an album that you released, so you released your album Breathe back in May of 2021. So take me through the making of this album and what this album means to you.
Yeah, so we went to Nashville. Obviously 2022 gave us a lot of downtime to focus on writing, and we decided we were going to put out a full-length album. We have 2 EPs out prior to that, but it was like, okay, let's do a full length.
Mm-hmm.
And I had gone through a lot of different self and personal things that I've been struggling with for a really long time, and the transition from 2019 into 2020 was kind of like my breaking point of where I needed to just take a step back and focus on my mental health and some things that I had really been struggling with my whole life. And I did that, and through that came this music for our album we just released. And we picked the title Breathe because so many things can happen when you just sit back and breathe. You can be centered, you can take in what's around you. It's just a way to kind of like be present. And that's what I struggled with for so long, with the different mental health diagnoses that I ended up finding out that I had, breathing and just centering myself was like huge, but it was so simple, just like music for me. So the band and I came together and we put these 11 songs, and they range anywhere from like super upbeat to slow to rock and country to just all these different things. And it was kind of the concept of painting what your emotions can do, and how your emotions can go from like super happy, I'm not doing so good, I don't know what's going on, to like up and skyrocket. So yeah, that was kind of what Breathe cultivated to, and it's just been really cool to see how people resonate and connect different ways to such a simple concept.
Yeah, well, I love the meaning behind that album. I totally love it. And breathing, like you were just mentioning, it's if you master the technique of breathing, because so many of us, we breathe through our chest, then we start to hyperventilate it, and it's not calming. You're not calm when you're breathing like that. But when you really start to take your deep breaths, count like 1, 2, 3, it's like a sense of calming that your body feels, and your mind just goes clear, and you're able to focus on what you want to focus on. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people have been understanding more after the whole 2 years that we've been having. And because anxiety and depression, that's been on the rise for the past
Yeah.
3 years or 2 years. It's been going up there. And I mean, with everything going on, of course it's going to be going. We're locked in our rooms. We can't do this. We're constantly listening to the media where they're telling us everybody's dying from this virus, this, that. It's going to get you, and it's going to get you
Yeah.
hard. So 2020 and 2021 was a real year, like a challenge. It was a real challenge, like you were saying. And you disorders and like mental disorders, anxiety, just depression, like it comes out of you when you literally think you're fine, and it just
Right.
arises, and it's pretty crazy. But the meaning behind that is awesome, and I'm sure a lot of people who listen to that, they just love you for releasing an album like that, especially with the title Breathe. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. At first I was like a little worried. I'm like, is it just too simple? Are people going to be like, breathe? But once we started like kind of talking about the songs and the lyrics, and like feeling like I can be a little more open about my journey, that started in 2019 of like getting help, it just kind of was like, okay, like this is what it's meant to be. And not trying to make it into like, I'm always like, as a creative, trying to be like, what can I do that like is the most creative? And it's like, it doesn't always have to be that way. It can just be simple, because at the end of the day, we're all really simple human beings.
I know, we really are. Like, we're not that complex. We're not that complex.
Yeah.
And now, Jess, let's just get to know you a little bit more. So where exactly are you from?
I am from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It's Amish and Mennonite country, in southern Pennsylvania in the United States. And I grew up on a dairy farm and just loved music. Music has always been instilled in my family, on both sides, from my mom and my dad. And it was growing up my escape when I didn't really understand what my thoughts and things were in my mind, and when I didn't understand what depression was at such a young age. It wasn't something that was really talked about in my family, or in like the generations of my family. So as I got older, I was like, something's wrong with me. Like, so I just went to music, for that. And it just kind of seemed to be one of those things that was an escape where I could be me and feel comfortable and let all those crazy emotions that were like as high as Mount Everest and at the bottom of the sea within split of a second, I could just let them be what they are, and they were understood, I guess. So yeah, I'm 29, I'll be 30, and we are rocking and rolling in this music career.
Your dirty 30s. You're heading up to your 30s.
I am. I'm I don't know. At first I was like, oh man, like what does that look like? Then I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm just gonna roll with it. I mean, what I can't do anything about it. I'm gonna be 30.
Age is only a number. That's it.
Right.
If you don't feel like you're 30, you feel like you're 19 years old, then you're 19 years old. It matters what you think,
Right.
rather than the actual number that you see in front of you.
Exactly.
And now country music is total storytelling. So you picked the perfect genre to dive right in there. So you were saying how you grew up in a musical family, you had music on both sides. Was it country? I'm assuming.
It was, yeah. So I grew up, the church and hymns, and my grandma was a huge influence in my music, and she's 89, and she still to this day loves to come to shows when she can. Obviously not the late night shows, but she was just a huge influence in music for me, of like how it's just a place to bring people together. And then on my mom's side, my mom always loved to sing, and it was just like I could see that through the generations. And I have some cousins who play really well. And it's not like anybody's like, I don't have anybody that's doing crazy things with their music career, but it's just the fact that we all have this common ground of like the universal language of music. Growing up in our family. So yeah, it was country and like church hymns.
So since you grew up in that type of family or musical family, I'm just curious now because a picture popped in my head and it's so random. But do you remember Hannah Montana when they're like outside
Yes.
on the wraparound porch and the Rascal Flats are there and they're all, is that something that you guys have done? Like, have you guys all like got together and just kind of sang?
Yeah, so it's funny that you say that. I completely forgot about that moment of Hannah Montana. But so we have something called Gram Jam, and my grandma brings her Hawaiian. It's like kind of like a steel guitar, but it like lays on your lap, and it's smaller, and it sounds like you're in Hawaii when you play it. She's had it since she was 12, and we get together and we just jam and sing, and my brother-in-law plays guitar, and sometimes my band comes and like they bring their acoustics, and we just get together and we have food and we call it Gram Jam. And it's like sometimes we play the same song over and over again because that's all my grandma remembers how to play in the same key. But you know what,
Okay.
it's awesome. It's time together and it's music. So yes, we do that.
I love that. I'm so happy you said that you do that rather than, oh, no, we don't do that. That's such a memory too that you would carry for the rest of your life. And
Yeah.
a tradition too, like once you have a kid, do you have a kid yet or not yet? No.
Nope. My husband and I are dog parents.
Okay.
Probably forever.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, just like the tradition that you can just pass down and maybe teach the dogs to play it
Yeah.
and sing. You never know. I mean, there's dogs that say "I love you" in
Right.
little way.
Nieces and nephews are great. I'm all about them. All about them.
Exactly. And now, who would you love to work with? Because you were describing a couple of different music, like genres, like the church music and traditional country. Who's an artist that you can think of the top of your head that you would just love to work with?
Carrie Underwood. She would be, she would definitely be somebody that I would love to work with, or just sit down and talk to about how she manages married life and what they do as far as her and her husband and travel, and like just her business aspect of things. I would love to sit down and just talk to her about that kind of thing, and then probably Reba McEntire to follow that. So
I love
in
that.
the country world, but if I had to pick out of the country world, it would be Adele. I love Adele. So she's kind of like off the left field, but if I had to pick, those would be my top three.
It's okay. Those are a good top three to have. Top three to have. Adele too. She looks bomb. Like
Mm,
wow. I mean, she was always pretty, like always pretty, but now like she looked like a completely different person. She's gorgeous. And
I know.
the voice on her is just like an angelic. It's just like, where does that come from?
It's effortless. It's effortless, and it's sometimes I listen and I'm like, how how does she just do that? And it's so good. It's so good.
It's so even Carrie Underwood and Reba too. They're all such talented women. And
Mhm.
now I have to mention this because I'm looking at you. You got red hair,
I do.
red eyeshadow. Or is that red eyeshadow? Yeah, and a red hat. So tell me, what's going on with the red? Is that like a favorite color? Is that like a statement?
So it started out, I went to cosmetology school my senior year because I did not like school, and I was like, I need to get out of here. And it wasn't for any particular reason other than I just wanted something hands-on. I fell in love with it, not realizing that I was going to do that. So I fell in love with it. And so I just tried all these different hair colors, and I just one day did bright red. And it kind of stuck. It was like around the same time that the Jess Zimmerman band kind of cultivated too. And so like, it just kind of seemed like this marketing tool. And also like, it just felt like me. I just felt like I'm already someone who wants to be just bold and stand out and be that in every aspect that I can. And so it just fit. And yeah, that was just kind of why I stuck with it. I tried to go back to brunette one time, and that was during a time where I thought I was doing some of my mental health things, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to being brunette. And I was like, not me. I went back to red. I was like, I can't do it.
Well, red is a really bold color, so clearly you are a bold girl. That's what you are.
Thank you. I'm trying.
You know, there's also a Canadian artist named Nicole Ray, and her color is purple. So
Nice.
yeah, so she's got like the purple hair going on. Like she'll wear the purple hat, purple eyeshadow. Like I'll send you her Instagram.
Please,
Like we should get someone, like I want to find someone who's yellow next and who's like green next. That'd be so sick, right?
Yes, like
everybody
have all the colors.
Yeah, it would be really cool, but it's unique, and I really do love that. And the red looks good on you too.
Thank you. I always thought I was really pale, so I was like, well, red hair, pale skin, and it kind of goes all together.
I mean, I had a really good friend in college, red hair, and she was a bit on the whiter side too. Like she loved me still, even if I say this, but like it just works. It works.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And now, Jessica, I want to play a little game with you. Just
Okay.
This or that. So to end it off, I love playing Country with Celine Rapid Fire. So are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Beach or snow?
Beach.
Starbucks or Tim's?
Starbucks.
Pineapple on pizza or off pizza?
On pizza.
Okay. Okay. Next one. Boots or high heels?
Boots.
Netflix or movies?
Oh, no, neither, but movies.
Okay, vodka or beer?
Vodka.
Vodka. Okay. Are you stay in or go out?
Stay in.
Oh, you're a stay in kind of gal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, when it's cold like this, you do want to stay in, but
Yeah.
when it's hot, it's nice to go out, nice to go party, go out with your girlfriends, like,
Yep. Now I feel like with shows, I'm like, I always go out with shows. And then I'm like, when I'm home, I'm like, oh, I like to be home and hide in my house.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. For an artist, I guess it's completely different. For me, on the personality side of things, I like to go out because I'm not always going out. But for an artist, you guys perform like quite a bit, so I can get why you just like to stay at home and relax.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jess, for joining me today on Country with Celine. It was so awesome getting to learn more about you and chat with you. And I love the look. I do love the look. I'll say it again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to hearing new music this year. If it happens, it happens. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And I thank you for doing the interview, and I hope you can stay warm too, and maybe we'll see each other in Florida sometime.
I'm in. Count me in. I'll be there when you go. Don't worry.
Yes. Great. That is the best time.